Let's bring in ABC News contributor and Sirius XM radio host Mike Muse for more on this. It's always a good day when we get to talk to Mike. Mike, I want to start with this. I guess we'll call it the cultural significance of seeing a president-elect with many of the folks he's chosen, many of them controversial picks for cabinet positions, sitting ringside at, I mean, I like the UFC, but it happens to be like one of the most violent sports you can watch, and making a show of it. It's in a cage. You see it there. What do you think the cultural significance of this is?
What's up, Phil? Always great to see you on the weekends. I enjoy our conversations. I think this weekend was a seismic shift in cultural shifts in how cultural dynamics is going to be a major inspiration or muse to the structure that President-elect Trump is going to define his presidency and his cabinet. If you just look at the events over the weekend with UFC, but Phil, don't forget about the Tyson-Jake Paul fight. I had the pleasure of attending the Jake Paul-Tyson fight at AT&T Stadium, and you saw the MAGA culture there. Lots of MAGA hats was there. And even at the end, the winner, Jake Paul, he didn't mention President-elect Trump directly, but in his speech, he gave a lot of MAGA-themed remarks, in particular about the era of truth that we're in. Then you fast forward the next day at the UFC Championship, you've seen John Jones, who I've had the pleasure of interviewing for our radio show, really talked about USA leading the chance. He then did the Trump dance. He then shared his belt after he won with President-elect Trump. And then his remarks really leaned into the evangelical movement that is the base of the MAGA party by saying not only is he a champion, but he said he is a Christian American champion, really doubling down on that. So you're seeing this dynamic, in particular in the crowd and the audience, of this culture of patriotism and this culture of masculinity infused with sports and culture into politics.
Don't think for a half a second I didn't catch that flex about you being at the Paul Tyson fight. I would have loved to have been there. The fight actually before Serrano and Taylor was amazing. I would have loved to have seen that live, but very cool, as you are. I want to dive a little bit deeper into this and bring a little bit more politics into it, because you and I have talked about this bro vote and this masculine culture before. And, if you didn't think that was part of the election, it was, and it's on full display now. In some of the postmortem that Democrats are doing, some of the things you're hearing is the left swung too far to the left, perhaps, with some of the culture war, identity politics issues. Do you see this? I mean, there are so many reasons why an election goes one way or the other, but do you see this as part of the pendulum swinging in another direction?
Sorry, but you see me smiling. I couldn't contain myself. I was waiting just to jump in there right with you. And we definitely need to unpack the Serrano match, because that was a match unto itself.
Right.
And when you look at the exit polls, you see that white male went overwhelmingly for President-elect Trump. You also saw that white male, non-college educated men went overwhelmingly for Trump. Then you translate, and if you just look anecdotally, Phil, if you look at the arena that was there at UFC last night, you saw the enthusiasm that was there. You saw the sheer joy that they had by seeing President-elect Trump. You even saw banners in the crowd of the picture when President-elect Trump stood up after his assassination and held his fist up in the dynamic of fight. There is a cultural dynamic that it makes this base much more enthusiastic, Phil, which bears the question how much of this was about economics, which some people suggest in exit polls. I've always disagreed with that. I thought that using the economics is a scapegoat for how Americans are really feeling about culture dynamics, and things that they see as anti. And I thought you saw that in the crowd anecdotally with his base, with such exuberance that is there. This is why he is picking such cabinet members like Vivek Ramaswamy. You see his appointments such as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You see Elon Musk sitting next to him. You see Joe Rogan walking him in. So these are the type of appointments that he, recommend nominations that he is appointing to his cabinet that really garners and appeals to that base, into that demographic. And Phil, he won the popular vote. He has the mandate to put these type of nominations forward because that base says they want a cultural change as much as a policy change. And I think that needs to be unpacked more besides just the economic conversation. It goes deeper than that with Americans.
I think you're so right. I'm being told we're out of time, so do me a favor and text me so that you and I can talk a little bit about this later, because you're right, this is a deeper conversation, but it's always good to talk to you, Mike Muse. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil. Can't wait till next time, buddy.
Yep.